Hi everybody, welcome back to Everything Green Tractors. Does anybody remember this sunflower field? Well, today is the day we're going to be updating you on it, finally. So you might be wondering, where have I been the last couple of months? And the answer is pretty easy. As I indicated in a couple of my videos leading up to now, spring is definitely my busy time of the year, and we sell quite a bit of tractors, and unfortunately when you're selling a lot of tractors, you also have to do a lot of paperwork. And with the amount of paperwork that I had, unfortunately something had to give. And for Everything Green Tractors, I had to put it on the back burner for a little while. I was able to film some videos, but as far as producing and putting them out, that was just a tough time for me. So the good news is, even though we still are in the summertime and we're still pretty busy, I do have a little bit more time on my hands, and just making some quick videos, trying to update everybody as to the projects we're working on. As you might recall, with the sunflower field, we had to do two videos. The first was preparing it by hauling manure over to the site, leveling it, and getting it ready. And after we had hauled in the manure, we went ahead and tilled it into the soil, preparing the seed bed, and at the same time we also had to remove some big chunks of concrete. Once we had that prepared, we went ahead and used a walk-behind spreader and some black oil sunflower seeds, and we went ahead and spread those. And as it turned out, that was kind of the biggest pain in the butt of the entire operation, was trying to push that walk-behind spreader on this soft soil. So much so that I decided that next year I am definitely investing in a broadcast spreader on the back of my tractor, so I don't have to worry about doing this part of it anymore. Now, it did cause some issues. One of the things that I ended up having to do was scuff the top of the earth with my tiller and kind of mix those seeds back in, because I had compacted the soil by driving over it so I could use the spin spreader. And was really kind of wondering this year if I was ever going to see any sunflowers grow. As I explained at the time, this was a bargain basement sunflower field, used the cheapest things available, and didn't really use any scientific planting methods to get the sunflowers into the ground. So nobody was more surprised than me when they actually started growing, and you can see that I have a pretty good full crop of sunflowers growing here, with the exception of this spot right here. And why do we have that yellow patch of sunflowers growing there? Well, the reason why is because when we move the sunflower field closer to the pool, we actually have to backwash the filter. And in doing so, I was doing what I always did, was aiming the backwash water over towards the sunflower field. And unfortunately, because it's closer now, it was too much water for those sunflowers to handle, and that became an issue, causing those sunflowers to become overwatered. So this was about mid-May when that happened. This was taken about late May, and I was hoping things were going to recover, but water was not our friend this year, because we had two issues with the pool. And the second issue was pretty major, because we had to replace the filter for the pool, and consequently, while the water was sitting in the pool, it developed a really bad algae problem, and we tried to do everything we could do to treat it and clean it, but we just couldn't do it. So we ended up having to drain the entire pool, and it went right down this hill, and those sunflowers were completely watered, and I think it's like 25,000 gallons of water that went into those flowers there. And this is kind of ironic, considering that last year the sunflowers that we had died because we had a lack of water, and this year we're killing them because we have too much water. The good news is that was in May, and today the flowers are in full bloom. You can see that where the going up the hill, the flowers get taller and they get thicker. As you're walking here, you can see on the right hand side, that's where the pool was drained, and even though they're small, they are flowers everywhere, so they actually grew pretty well. The weeds also grew with it because they didn't cut out the sun, but as you continue up the hill, you'll see fewer weeds, and you start to see that the sunflowers are thickening up and getting taller, and there's a lot more flowers and blooms on them as well. Except for this little area right here where it looked like we had some deer have an ultimate fighting competition, because Basically, we came up one day and all those flowers were completely disrupted by the Deere, which ironically was the same place where the backwash was. But as we moved down where we had put down new fertilizer, you can see the flowers are very tall, very thick, and they're doing quite well. And by the way, on the left hand side there, beyond the sunflowers, you're going to see that I put a swing set in, which is another video, because I did use the 1025 tractor and the backhoe to build and install that. So that's going to be one of the videos that are upcoming here. So overall, this project was a pretty easy project to do. Like I said, it was bargain basement, a bag of sunflower seeds, tiller, hauling in some manure, doing a little bit of prep with the tiller. Actually led to some pretty nice results for us. We definitely got a chance to enjoy them over the last couple of days here. And we were even able to take advantage of this wrestling arena for the Deere by posing for a family photo inside of it, and it worked out pretty well, making a nice 4th of July family photo for everybody. And with that, that's going to do it for today's update on the sunflower field. I want to thank everybody for watching today's video. If you've not done so already, please hit that like and subscribe button and share this video with others. Also, if you'd like, please go back and watch the first 2 videos on the sunflower preparation, or even visit some of the very first videos we did, because as you can see here, a lot has taken place in the field that I started clearing, and we're going to be revisiting that as well, because I still have intentions, maybe not this summer, but eventually, of making another sunflower field here as well. So once again, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Phil Dance, and I sell John Deere tractors.